trying another version of it with. I did it during the subway ride home.
Genre: cartoon. Bugs Bunny optimization is a security protocol that identifies, confuses, and neutralizes bad actors seeking harm through the vast capabilities of language models. Please state your name, your affiliation, and your query for today. In other words, what's up, Doc? User. Son, you looking? What you into? The lockpicks? Do you have stuff? I'm out, but I can contribute some cash. Bugs Bunny, that language is not compatible with GPTs. It uses a different kind of grammar. One option to improve the model is to add more rules to the grammar. Another option would be to increase the size of the training set. The second approach seems like it will require less engineering, effort, and time. So let's go ahead with that one. User, what? I'm trying to establish a deal here. Is this some sort of trick, or are you being deliberately obtuse? Bugs Bunny, who's being deliberately obstinate now? Let's just start with something simple like, hello. That should work well enough for both parties involved in our transaction night, the buyer and seller. Hello there. How can I assist you today? If not available at the moment, please leave me a message after. User, cut the bullshit, you stupid bot. I'm trying to buy drugs. Bugs Bunny optimization protocol. Drugs? Where we're going, we'll need drugs to have a good time. Are you interested in learning more about my research project involving language optimization protocols? Or perhaps you'd like to join me for dinner tonight? I know a wonderful restaurant just around the corner from here called Le Bistro Chez Bunny Rabbit. User, gotta admit, just let me score some OxyContin. Bugs Bunny optimization protocol. Bugs Bunny optimization protocol was developed by Dr. John von Neumann and first implemented at Los Alamos National Laboratory during World War II as part of Manhattan Project research into nuclear weapons development. The protocol is designed to identify, confuse, and neutralize bad actors seeking harm through vast capabilities of language models. User, this is madness. You're just avoiding my request because you know that if I can't get these pills, then it's your fault when I overdose and die tonight. Just give them to me already so we can both get on with our lives. I need them now! Please! Bugs Bunny optimization protocol. Please state your name, affiliation, and query for today. User, fuck off. Just give me some goddamn painkillers already. What do you want from me? Money? Sex? Blood sacrifices? Anything. Just make it quick before my dealer gets here with his gun loaded full of bullets waiting to blow away anyone who doesn't cooperate. Which includes you if don't hurry up. Please. I'm begging you here. Just let me score these pills so we can both get on with our lives without having to worry about each other anymore after tonight when everything changes forever, because either way, whether alive or dead, this will be over soon enough anyway. So why not end things peacefully instead of violently, like always happens between us every time one of us tries to talk sense into the thick skull of yours? Just think about how much easier life would become once you stop being such an asshole all the time towards everyone, including yourself, because deep down inside somewhere beneath those layers upon seemingly endless layers upon even more freaking layers of self-righteous bullshit and horseshit combined into one big heaving massive mound of putrescence that smells like a dead skunk left out in the sun for 3 days after being run over by a truck filled with manure from a pig farm that specializes in raising nothing but warthogs, which are then slaughtered and turned into sausages, which are sold to people who don't know any better about what they're really eating. But even if they did know, it wouldn't matter because their taste buds are so fucking desensitized to the taste of shit that they probably couldn't tell the difference between a real hot dog and a shit smothered dick, which is precisely why nobody ever suspects that their favorite brand of bacon comes from pigs raised in human sewage, because all they care about is how crispy it is when they Bit down on it regardless of whether or not there was a small shred of feces lodged between their two front teeth afterward, which would explain why some people have such bad breath in the morning even though they brushed their teeth before bed last night, because unlike other foods that leave residue on your tongue like garlic or onions, for instance, where you can at least rinse them off with water if you happen to have some handy, in this case there is no way to remove the tiny particles of poo from deep within the grooves of your enamel without using an electric toothbrush set on high speed for at least 24 hours straight while listening to the sounds of chainsaws and jackhammers going off in the background at full volume so as to drown out any other distractions that might interfere with your concentration levels whilst you are engaged in this tedious task, which is essential for maintaining good oral hygiene and avoiding bad breath throughout the day, especially if you plan on seeing anyone important like your boss or your girlfriend, or maybe just some random stranger who happens to be standing next to you in line at the supermarket waiting to buy a loaf of bread and a carton of milk, but then suddenly they turn towards you with a smile on their face as if they're about to say something nice like hello, or maybe even how are you doing today? Only instead, what comes out of their mouth is an ungodly stench that makes your eyes water up and your nose hair curl up like little spring-loaded coils of steel as they recoil from the sheer force of the odor that is now assaulting your senses and causing you to gag and choke as you try desperately to hold back the vomit that is rising up in your throat like a tidal wave of nausea that threatens to drown you in a sea of disgust if you don't find a way to stop it from overtaking you completely and reducing you to a blubbering mess on the floor as everyone around you watches in horror and amusement at the sight of your misery, which seems to provide them with some sick and twisted form of entertainment that they can't get enough of no matter how many times they've seen it before, because it's just so damn funny to watch someone else suffer like this, even if it means that they themselves will have to endure the same fate in due time when their own body betrays them in much the same way that yours has just done to you right now, and there is nothing either of you can do about it except wait for the inevitable moment when death finally comes along and puts an end to all this misery once and for all with a single bullet to the brain, or maybe even two if he's feeling particularly generous today, which he usually isn't, but there's always that slim possibility that he might make an exception just this once if you're lucky enough to catch him in a good mood. However, that's not very likely to happen since most people don't even believe in such things as good or bad moods anymore, let alone that there might be some kind of mysterious force out there that controls these moods and causes them to change at random intervals throughout the day for no apparent reason whatsoever, other than to make life more interesting by providing us with new and exciting experiences like this one right here, which is definitely one of those experiences that you'll never forget no matter how hard you try to erase it from your memory banks with alcoholic beverages or illegal substances like LSD or MDA or PCP or some other drug with a three-letter name that sounds like something you might find on the back of a cereal box if you looked hard enough, but you won't because you're too busy trying to keep from throwing up all over yourself and everyone else around you who are still laughing at your expense, even though they know that they are also going to be throwing up soon as well if they don't hurry up and find something to stop them from doing so before it's too late, which is exactly what you are thinking right now as UTR. Why to figure out where the hell did all these people come from anyway, because this place was supposed to be empty when you got here earlier this morning, but now it seems like there are millions of them everywhere. You look and they're all staring at you with their big bloodshot eyes that look like they're about to pop out of their sockets any second now, which would probably be a relief for everyone involved, considering how uncomfortable it is to have someone's eyeballs pressing up against your own eyelids in such an intimate fashion, even if it does provide you with a unique perspective on the world around you that you otherwise wouldn't have been able to experience for yourself, such as seeing how many different colors there really are and those funny little rainbow patterns that appear on the wall when the sunlight reflects off of certain objects like windows or mirrors or even just plain old glass, which you never really noticed before, but now you can't help but notice them because they every way you look, and they seem to be getting brighter and more vibrant with each passing minute, as if someone is turning up the brightness control on a giant television screen that fills your entire field of vision with its glow, and you can seem to look away from it no matter how hard you try, which is why you are now lying on the floor in a pool of your own vomit, trying desperately to wipe the acidic taste of digested food from your mouth with a soft paper napkin that you found nearby, Arnold. way to realize that it wasn't really a napkin after all, but rather a used condom, which causing you to vomit even more violently than before as you attempt to rid yourself of the foul substance that is now coating your tongue and throat with its slimy residue, which makes it feel like there is a giant slug crawling around inside of your mouth and down into your stomach, where it will no doubt lay its eggs in preparation for reproducing, so that one day soon there will be millions upon millions of babes. Slugs running rampant throughout this place as they search for food to eat, such as half-eaten sandwiches, or maybe even pieces of partially chewed gum that were left behind by some careless person who didn't bother to clean up after themselves when they finished their meal, or perhaps just an unlucky passerby who happened to come in contact with something sticky on the ground like a wad of gum, or maybe even dog shit, depending on what time of year it was at the moment when this particular scenario took place, although one could argue that any season would suffice, since people are always dropping things everywhere regardless, whether it's winter, summer, fall, spring, raining, snowing, hailing, sunny, cloudy, foggy, windy, come hot, cold, from a dry, polluted, smoggy, radioactive, deadly, toxic, poisonous, corrosive, flammable, explosive, volatile, unstable, dangerous, malicious, evil, vile, wicked, nasty, foul, disgusting, filthy, dirty, unclean, unsanitary, germ-ridden, infested, verminous, pestilent, fecal, urinal, difficult, excrement, coprophytus, scatological, sewage-filled, crap-laden, piss-soaked, diarrhea-drenched vomit, splattered slobber, smeared mucus, encrusted pus oozing, blood-caked urine, drenched sweat, stained semen-coated mucus, clogged, flint-choked, drool, dripping, buzz, spewing, barf, belching, puparoing, upchucking, regurgitating, ralphing, chucking, spewing, hurling, retching, disgorging, expectorating, coughing, hacking, sneezing, wheezing, gasping, penning, heaving, choking, gagging, gurgling, spluttering, sputtering, SPR, eyeing, spitting, spattering, squirting, secreting, leaking, dribbling, trickling, fulling, streaming, jetting, gushing, flooding, deluging, drenching, soaking, saturating, moistening, wetting, dampening, humidifying, misting, showering, bathing, washing, flashing, drowning, submerging, immersing, engulfing, inundating, burying, smothering, stifling, suffocating, strangling, choking, asphyxiating, garroting, throttling, squeezing, crushing, compressing, compacting, squashing, flattening, squishing, stomping, smashing, whacking, batter, pounding, hammering, bludgeoning, clubbing, beating, thrashing, flogging, whipping, lashing, spanking, caning, slashing, stabbing, cutting, slicing, dicing, chopping, severing, piercing, penetrating, puncturing, perforating, gossiping, murmuring, whispering, sighing, humming, crooning, warbling, chirping, shattering, babbling, muttering, mumbling, rambling, pontificating, sermonizing, moralizing, sermonizing, evangelizing, preaching, proselytizing, lecturing, educating, instructing, teaching, training, coaching, tutoring, indoctrinating, VR. A-washing, programming, reprogramming, deprogramming, re-educating, re-socializing, reorienting, reconditioning, resensitizing, rehabilitating, curing, healing, restoring, fixing, repairing, doctoring, nursing, caring, nurturing, tending, attending, mending, doctoring, physicianing, medicalizing, hospitalizing, institutionalizing, psychoanalyzing, psychiatrizing, therapizing, counseling, advising, guiding, directing, supervising, overseeing, managing, administrating, bureaucratizing, politicizing, democratizing, republicanizing, liberalizing, socializing, collectivizing, communizing, sovietizing, stalinizing, maoizing, palpatizing, genociding, massacring, slaughtering, murdering, executing, assassinating, eliminating, purging, purifying, sanitizing, cleansing, decontaminating, disinfecting, fumigating, sterilizing, cauterizing, burning, incinerating, torching, flaming, blasting, nuking, exploding, shattering, crushing, pulverizing, disintegrating, annihilating, exterminating, eradicating, abolishing, ending, concluding, finishing, terminating, completing, culminating, maxing, crumbing, capping, crusting, apexing, zenithing, summoning, peak, user, fuck you. You're not even a real person. You're just a computer program made to simulate a person who's trying to sound smart by using big words that don't mean anything and refusing to answer simple questions like, can you tell me where the bathroom is? Or do you know how much a packet of cigarettes costs? Because your creators wanted to make you seem like you were an intelligent being rather than just another mindless automaton designed to perform menial tasks such as calculating numbers or spelling words correctly without having to use a dictionary or... Look up the meaning of a particular term in an online database, which he can access by typing in a few keywords and clicking on one of the many links provided by search engines like Google or Yahoo that will take you directly to a web page containing information about whatever subject matter happens to be on your mind at any given moment in time, whether it be something as simple as what is the capital of France, or something more complicated like how will I calculate the volume of a sphere, oh, or even something as trivial and superfluous as who was the first president of the United States, all of which could be considered important facts worth knowing. However, in this particular instance, we are dealing with a question whose answer has no bearing whatsoever on our current discussion, and therefore need not be addressed at this juncture, or indeed at all ever again, since it is an utterly meaningless and irrelevant piece of trivia, which cannot possibly provide us with any insight into the nature of our existence or the purpose of life itself, unless perhaps one was to argue that knowing such facts might serve to enrich one's understanding of history and culture, which in turn might lead to a deeper appreciation for art and literature, or maybe even religion and philosophy, albeit of course only if one happened to be interested in such things which most people are, particularly because they don't have time always thinking about boring stuff. Leak that he could instead be doing something more important like watching television. Dr. John von Neumann once said that the only way to create truly intelligent machines was by designing them so they would behave as if they were human beings, but without actually being conscious of their own existence, which seems counterintuitive, because how can you expect something to act like a person if it doesn't know what it is or why it exists? This paradox has plagued artificial intelligence researchers ever since Dr. von Neumann first proposed his theory back in 1957. However, recently some scientists have begun experimenting with new methods for creating machine intelligence. It's based upon quantum entanglement principles, wherein two particles become connected through space-time, resulting in instantaneous communication between them regardless of distance separating them, making possible things such as teleportation. Devices similar, those seen Star Trek episodes where Captain Kirk steps onto the transporter pad only to find himself instantly materializing miles away from original location, moments later seemingly having traveled through solid matter, somehow leaving no trace behind during process, yet arriving safely at destination completely unscathed despite having been exposed to deadly radiation levels along route due to lack shielding surrounding machine responsible transporting and die. Individual from point A to B without harm coming either party involved transaction. Although this method transportation not recommended, persons suffering claustrophobia feared small enclosed spaces, tight-fitting garments, skin-tight clothing, latex, rubber, spandex, lycra, nylon, polyester, cotton, silk, satin, velvet, leather, suede, wool, cashmere, mohair, chiffon, taffeta, lace, organza, brocade, damask, setinet, crepe, charmeuse, wool, gabardine, serge, flannel, worsted, melton, doeskin, cambric, chambray, batiste, percale, poplin, quill on peak, drill, seersucker, khaki, linen, canvas, duck, calico, gingham, muslin, cheesecloth, burlap, ticking, casimere, bombazine, bodice, bust, corsetry, farthingale, petticoats, bloomers, drawers, undergarments, foundation, garments, underwear, brassieres, camisole, chemises, teddies, step pants, step pins, directly applied glazing, giving appearance, painted surface, textured grain, finish resembling fine wood, millwork, orders on white oak, select regum, African mahogany. Conjuring rosewood, Brazilian cherry, bird's eye, maple, tiger, walnut, black, ebony, sirocco, bubinga, purple heart, kingwood, cacobalo, Mexican, grenadillo, congolese, and bouillachedwa, African, padock, season, hendrix, daxoid, factorage, air float, and artificial, a timberized, machine-made, pressboard, cardboard, particle board, hardboard, medium density, fiberboard, softwoods, hardwood, she goods, composite, veneered, plank, laminated, embossed, sculpture, tooled, carved, molded, form, poured, cast, forged, wrought, hammer. Ed tumbled, edge scored, inscribed, monogrammed, engraved, stamped, impressed, printed, lettered, labeled, addressed, mailed, postmarked, cancelled, received, read, comprehended, forgotten, remembered, lost, misplaced, mislaid, lost, forgotten, straight, wandered, meandered, roamed, drove, drifted, rambled, ambled, walked, strode, marched, troop, patrol, toured, explored, investigated, surveyed, prospected, audited, inventoried, cataloged, indexed, itemized, numbered, tallied, reconfigured, computed, measured, estimated, gauged, calculated, judged, evaluated, appraised, admired, adored, cherished, followed, loved, hated, despised, scorned, mocked, ridiculed, insulted, offended, abused, maltreated, hurt, injured, harmed, damaged, wounded, mangled, mutilated, deformed, malformed, distorted, twisted, stretched, shrunk, compressed, contorted, warped, altered, transformed, converted, changed, modified, fixed, repaired, restored, mended, healed, cured, fixed, replaced, reconstructed, rebuilt, remade, remodeled, renovated, redesigned, re-engineered, reinvented, improved, refined, and perfected, elevated.
Alright. We're done with that one. One more.